Hey guys, welcome back to the all-inclusive Mega Man Marathon. We're already to the 10th game in the franchise, Mega Man 4 on the Game Boy. This is actually pretty sick. We'll just throw that down there. We're about 1/5 of the way there throughout the entire franchise in general, as there's about 50 games. So, let's just see how good Mega Man 4 is. Let's just get right in. Aside from the stage select, we've got some new improvements for Mega Man 4 Game Boy. First of all are the P-chips, which are the precursors to the screws from Mega Man 7. They might not be able to purchase as many upgrades as that game, but we'll at least get the introduction to the energy balancer. As I said in Mega Man 6, this spectacular item allows for the recovery of weapon energy without the weapon being selected. This is great for people who like to use the weapons and switch to the Mega Buster without having to go to the pause menu just to recover the energy. However, with this improvement comes a downside. Your weapon energy is not restored between stages. This is dumb. I get it. You can go to Dr. Light's lab and restore the energy with the P-chips. That's all fine and dandy, but why remove something that has been a series staple for the last 9 games that I've covered? It's wildly confusing, just like how in the Mega Man X games they decided to remove a full life bar just to make health tanks a collectible item for X to go around and backtrack for. It's a minor nitpick since I never really had a problem with it throughout my run through Mega Man 4 on Game Boy, but boy was it just as baffling as ever. I understood that the Wily stages were a gauntlet and that I didn't need weapon refills between those stages, but oh well, I guess it's not that big of a deal. But it's still extremely confusing. I also love how the music is just as good as the last game, so we haven't lost anything in that department. Also, the game has actually listened to me and decided to put this game's Mega Man killer, Blade, in the middle stage. Alas, we don't destroy him immediately, but yeah. We don't get access to the Blade Cracker into the normal endgame, but I like that weapon. I want to use it. I want to use it halfway through the game, but no. I guess we'll never be able to use these weapons for a majority of a game. Well, I guess we did get that in the form of DLC for Mega Man 10, where you can get all 3 Mega Man killer weapons before you even play through the main game, which is pretty amazing actually, since it literally makes the game the only one in the series where you can beat the main game without using the Mega Buster at all. But I digress, back to Mega Man 4. The biggest problem I had with this game was the charge shot. You know how charge shots in every other game, you hold down the shoot button and charge the buster to shoot at enemies for massive damage? In this game, you have recoil. Not recoil in Pokemon where you do damage to yourself at least, that would be really bad, but there's a sort of knockback whenever you fire off a charge shot. It's a pain in the butt since you don't see it coming every time you fire one off, since it literally doesn't happen in any other Mega Man game. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but there wasn't really any need for it to be there, so I have no idea why they decided it should have been there in the first place. Lastly, we've got the inclusion of the W, I, L, and Y plates, which are required to access Wily's Fortress in this game. Why do we need arbitrary items to access something that we've been able to get into for the past 9 games? Why? This is so ridiculous and forced right here. Yeah, I get it's not that hard to get the plates, but why? What if you thought it was to get an upgrade like Beat in the first 4 stages or something? Yes, Beat is in the game, which is nice, but the promos really shouldn't create an expectation of plates giving you upgrades, since if you don't care about Beat, what makes you think you want the other plates? We also get our boss rematch stage, which hasn't been in any of the other Game Boy games, so that's kind of neat. I like not having to refight all of the bosses in a row either, though it definitely made the game a little bit shorter than normal, so it's a trade-off. Repetition for more game. I guess it's nice since you at least have the Blade Cracker to test out on the Robot Masters, so we get some sort of use for this weapon, though I'd rather retain the weapon energy for Wily. However, that's where the negatives end. We get the introduction of the weapon tanks, super tanks, mini E-tanks, and when you collect 4 of those, you can get a full E-tank to add into your arsenal. Weapon tanks are just like energy tanks, but they restore the weapon's energy rather than just your life energy, which is very convenient, especially in a game that does not require you to refill your energy between stages. We wouldn't get weapon tanks in the mainline games until Mega Man 7 for the Super Nintendo, but that's beside the point. The super tanks are essentially like the mystery tanks from Mega Man 5, as they restore the entirety of your health and weapons without killing your hearing. Also, something that I didn't realize in Mega Man 5 was that if you have full health and ammo for your weapons and attempt to use the mystery tank, all weak enemies on screen are turned into extra lives. That's pretty neat, especially if you're surrounded and only have a life or 2 on standby. Overall, these upgrades to Mega Man's arsenal definitely make the game pretty easy, especially with the choice of Robot Masters in the game. We get Toad Man, who's just as abysmally easy as he is in the NES Mega Man 4, which causes the weakness chain to have the other 3 bosses fall like dominoes. Then, with the Mega Man 5 bosses, the majority of them have 2 weaknesses to make up for the Mega Man 4 weapons that you have, such as having Charge Man weak to the Rain Flush, which is nice admittedly, but a little too easy in comparison to the first 3 games. As much crap as I gave Game Boy Mega Man 4 here, this game really isn't that bad at all. In fact, it's probably my second favorite out of the pentology of games for the Game Boy. I would have made a quintology pun with quint, but technically that isn't the right term since that's the Latin term rather than the Greek, and we really don't need to be getting into that can of worms in a video game review of all things, seeing as we got into time and other countries' way of doing decimals and commas in the Mega Man 2 review, and that was... yeah. You can grab Mega Man 4 on the 3DS Virtual Console for $4.99, or you can get a cartridge for the original Game Boy, but unfortunately this is where the handheld games start getting indecently expensive. Heck, my copy of Mega Man 4 costed me $65. But when you're looking at Mega Man 5 and the Game Gear games, both of them are north of $100, so have fun looking at those. Especially the Game Gear title, seeing it has never been re-released digitally. Well, for as much crap as I gave Mega Man 4 on Game Boy, I gotta say that it was definitely a great one. The revolving stage select that they used in the game has never been recreated, so it's definitely something cool. Next time on the review series, we are going to be taking a look at Mega Man 5, which is a Super Game Boy enhanced title, so I'll be able to show that off. And then we'll finally finish off this pentology of games. So, next time, we'll be taking a look at Mega Man 5. See you guys then. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. As always, my Twitch, Twitter, and Patreon are in the description. Keeping up with the new quota of engagement, in the comments below, I would love to hear your top 3 Mega Man games of all time. If you haven't gotten the chance to play many of them, or barely have any experience with them at all, tell me whether or not there's something that's inhibiting you from enjoying them. And thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. That's insane to me. As soon as I started doing these Mega Man reviews, I thought, you know, this probably isn't going to go anywhere, but this, combined with the Pokemon videos, you guys seem to really be enjoying, so I'm going to keep putting out that content for you guys. Anyway, I'm looking forward to everybody's responses. See you guys next time for Mega Man 5 next week.